Hi Aries, welcome to your Q1 tarot reading with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. I just want to say a massive thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your support. It truly means the world. With that said, let's get into what this first quarter of 2025 is going to have in store for you. Remember, it's going to be a big one. All right. So with that said, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you all on your paths to your highest vibrational good. So we are going to start here. Right, so I'm going to give these a good shuffle. So this first mini spread is kind of like an overarching theme. All right, so let's get into it as a little bit of a nitty gritty, as they say. All right, so your first cards out are the Eight of Wands, the Three of Swords, and the Devil. All right, so what this tells me about the 3 months ahead of you, this first quarter of the year, it's going to be busy, but it's not busy for the sake of being busy. This is about you really putting the work in and being really focused around what you need to release, what you need to let go of. This, for a lot of you, actually looks like the removal of some bad habits. Maybe you're really sort of getting into what actually needs to be eliminated from your life. This could be from your diet. It could be from your outlook. It could be habits that you've got or gotten into that you think, you know what, actually this needs to change or this needs to shift. For some of you, this will revolve around your work. For others, this is probably going to be around your diet. Another way that this might show up as well, this could be the breaking of or the releasing of a habit or a practice that actually you really enjoy. So I'm going to give you an example with this. Let's say you're a smoker, right? Now, one thing I could say, like, I never forget, like, when I was younger, my stepmom used to say, like, I enjoy smoking, like, and she genuinely did, like, it genuinely brought her pleasure. It wasn't, like, just for the sake of, oh, it's a habit that I've got that I can't get rid of. Like, she genuinely enjoyed being a smoker. And so, if this is you, this might be a habit, a practice, or even something like maybe you're giving up sugar, something that you genuinely really love, but you understand what the payoff is going to be. So it's kind of like you say to yourself, you know what, this thing isn't actually good for me. It's not serving me anymore. It's not helping me. It's not supporting me in any way. If anything, it's actually taking away from my time or my life. So you're going to get really busy this week, really focused. And it's like what I love most about this, you're not doing it on your own. That Eight of Wands is a very busy card. It's a lot of communication and things going backwards and forwards. So whatever you are doing, you're not doing it alone. It's not like I'm doing this as a lone wolf. It's like you've got help, you've got support, or you know where to look for help and support. And you're going to get really busy about doing that, which I absolutely love for you. Now, as I say, whatever it is that you're giving up, whatever it is that you are getting rid of, it is a bad habit because you've got the Devil card. And that Three of Swords, it's like you're removing or letting go of something that you know is actually no good for you. And you're being really sort of targeted about that. You're being really proactive about releasing and removing from your life over this next 3 months. You're going to be really focused on getting rid of, letting go of, cutting away or breaking any and all bad habits that you know just don't serve you anymore. So I absolutely love this for you. I think it's fantastic. So we're going to start here. We're going to go on to here, should I say. So now what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the months ahead as they are, right? So obviously we're already 10 days into January at this point that I'm recording these. So you'll have to forgive, but as I said, there's been a lot going on in La Casa del Rey, so you're just going to have to be patient, right? So the first month here in January, slow and steady, right? Slow and steady, you're taking it at a pace, you're not rushing it, you're not forcing it, which I absolutely love. I think this is really the way forward. I think as well, you are starting to understand this month, I think more than anything else, you're really starting to understand that actually there are different types and forms of pleasure, and you really are it's like, yes, okay, something brings me pleasure, but there's actually another pleasure that I can get by doing something else, or I can reach that same pleasure threshold by selecting something else, right? So I actually really like this. It looks like you're being very sort of focused and targeted around what you're doing. So for February, you've got the Devil card, right? So February is where you're going to be in the thick of it. Whatever you're starting the process of releasing, getting rid of, it's like you start and you're like, oh, this is easy, right? This is great. It feels good. Da, da, da. You come into February and this is where you either start to really miss this thing, or you start to understand, okay, this is going to be a little bit harder than I expected. And so I have to call upon my friends, my people, my help, or my support. It's also possible that some kind of paperwork, documentation, etc. It's possible that there's, I won't say like a delay, but it's almost like your procrastination is going to hold things up. And I will say you don't have the time for it. All right. So just get to it, whatever it might be. And then as we come into March, I mean, look, this doesn't really surprise me, because as we come into March, March is certainly from the 21st of March onwards, spring in the Northern Hemisphere, is your, it's not only is that your season, right? But more importantly, March is a packed astrological month. Like literally, we are all going to be feeling like the Tower in March. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It feels like we're going to have our finger sort of shoved in a socket, which is going to feel like absolutely, feeling like that energy. But for you especially, this is clearly going to be palpable. So that's something that I want you to be sort of really aware of as, the months progress. Now, what I want to do from here, where are you? Let me put these to the side. Oh, if I can pick them up. That's what happens when you've got no nails. No, I'm not a biter, not anymore. I clip them because they drive me insane. Right, so in terms of your actions and options, you've got the Queen of Wands. So really one of the things that you need to focus on over the course of this next quarter is, first of all, working out who your allies truly are, like really get a good understanding of that. And the other thing in terms of your actions, this is a time for you to start getting really serious about your boundaries, okay? When it comes to your career and communication, or your commute. Oh my goodness, come on, Raph. Your communications and conversations, you've got the Four of Swords. Although this is a time to be proactive, like we've talked about with everything, it's also not a time to talk the talk. This is the time to be doing, all right? That Four of Swords, yes, take it slow and steady at a pace, but this is not a time for you to be, sort of just waffling, talking for the sake of talking. And it's also, and I'm going to call some of you out here, it's also not a time for just planning. You actually have to get some action out there into the world as well. It's not going to be enough. And I will say, this first half of the year, right? This first 6 months of the year, this is really where you need to put your foot on the pedal, okay? Obviously we've got retrograde energy in the air. I understand that your ruler is retrograde, but you want to take advantage of this first half of the year, because the second half of the year has a decidedly very different energy, okay? Now, if you're studying, take your time with it. Don't rush it, especially if you're heading towards your final dissertation, etc. If you are employed by somebody else, slow and steady, keep your head down and just get on with it. But also go through the process of asking for the information that you need. If you're a business owner, again, whatever plans and sort of things that you have for your work, etc., you just want to take your time with it, all right? You've got time to do everything. Don't rush. There's a way to hustle and to do what you need to do, but without rushing it. And then if you're retired, take the rest that you need now. For your love and relations, you've got the Justice card. So what this really looks like to me If you're partnered, married, or in a long-term commitment, you're looking at why the relationship or the partnership is not what you want it to be. If it's already okay and, you know, if things are actually good, this is a new level of commitment where it may very well be for some of you that you fuse paths when it comes to your work and or your business. And then for those of you that are single, this actually could be, the next 3 months could reveal to you where there is commitment available to you. For your money and materials, you've got the King of Cups. I mean, it's a decent card for money because it means that your intuition is going to steer you right when it comes to when it comes to like making more money and, you know, taking sort of forward steps, etc., when it comes to your resources. But one of the things that I really want to highlight to you here is your emotional intelligence is really what's going to secure your financial footing for the next 3 months. Get a hold of your emotions. Physical health and vitality, your reproductive system, really be hot on that over the next 3, you know, reproductive health, all the rest of it. Even if you're not necessarily looking to have children and all the rest of it, you know, handle your business, look after yourself, right? Especially if you're single and you're, you know, dating multiple partners, etc. When it comes to your home and environment, this is a time to really foster a supportive and an emotionally safe environment for your living situation. And then finally, for the Human Design Oracle deck energies for this first quarter of the year that you need to be aware of, you have the Gate 52 and Stillness. Don't rush it. I mean, this makes sense as well, especially because your ruling planet is retrograde in the sign of Cancer. But, you know, it doesn't have to be that you're sitting there meditating for hours on end, but it is, you know, now would really be a time to cultivate a practice of some sort that is akin to meditation. All right, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. If you want to get your own personal tarot reading, something similar to this, but more in depth and more focused on your personal questions, you can get that on the link in the description box below. Take care, and I'll see you soon.